Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Clicks to Reels. This is Neeraj here, and we are going to continue on our photo editing on the Kingfisher image that we've looked at over the last a few videos. So in the last video, if I remember right, what we did was we kind of did a few masks around the beak, around the eyes of the kingfisher. So today we are going to look at slightly more detailed way of masking. How do you change images? So this is the image what we did last time. If you remember, there was a radial mask, there was a linear mask, there was a radial mask for the sun. I'm gonna delete that so that we create something else. Then I am also going we also did this beak mask, if you remember, and then we did something for the eyes. There was another radar mark, so I'm gonna leave all these here. Okay, so the one mask that I really want to show you today is about the color range. Okay, so the color range, if I select on that and if I say that I want to work on, let's say, the beak, so I just kind of take my finger and go on the beak and I select the color, and it actually highlights all the color, that same color in the picture, in basically in the image. It will show you which all has kind of the red beak kind of a color. So you also have this refine button, which you can reduce the um, you have the option to reduce the mask that you're going to create with only the focus on certain areas. So basically it will highlight, if you reduce on the refine, if you reduce the number, basically what it will do is it will only highlight specific areas where the red color is intense, or highly saturated. So right now if I go to 12 or maybe even 10, there are some part on the top. If you see the top of the image, this highlighted in red. um, so whatever you make changes will affect that area also. You can further refine to make it even lesser. So that is how you can enhance the color of the beak within the image. And if you go the other way around, it will highlight everywhere where that red color is. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this mask and I'm going to refine the red beak color. I'm just going to hit apply here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the exposure. Actually, let me zoom in. I'm going to increase the exposure on just that beak, right? So maybe to 1.0, right, level. Then I'm going to increase the contrast of that, and I'm going to increase the shadows a little bit, right? So basically what it's doing here is it's just another way of doing the mask around the beak. So in the last time I used the brush mask to enhance the beak. This is another way. If you have only one color within within the image, you can enhance that. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept it, and just for the sake of it, I'm gonna do another one just for that blue colored back. I'm gonna use the color range and I'm gonna choose this. As you see, there is a lot of bluish color on the left bottom, so I'm gonna reduce the intensity and I want to keep it only behind the back of the kingfisher. right? So I'm gonna hit apply. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the exposure of that. So here's the way to kind of, you change how that kingfisher looks. So I'm not going to increase the exposure too much, but what I want in this image is slightly more bluish color. So for that I need to go to the color part, and I go to the saturation and I increase the saturation of that blue color. So now you see that the blue color is enhanced on the back of the kingfisher only. The blue color on the back of the kingfisher. That is how this mask really helps. Okay. The other way to go do that is also to decrease the temperature, but it kind of reduces so it increases the darkness. So maybe what I can do is slightly increase the shadows to kind of highlight those shadows, right? So this is how you can use this color range mask to play around with it, right? So you can use different ways to do it. Okay, so that's it for the color range mask. And now what I want to show you also is how do you save this, right? And how do you add watermarks, right? uh, Actually, I'll show you how to save. So when I click on save, you have different options here. So you can export it as a TIFF, you can export it as a JPG, you can export it as TIFF. I generally either use TIFF or JPG depending on what I want. JPG gives a lesser sized image. TIFF will give more heavier image. So if you want to do further edits, like you want to print it on a poster or something, you may want to do it TIFF. JPG is fine from a Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, any social channel perspective. I'm gonna just do JPG. And then it'll ask me where I want to do what I want to do with that. I'm just gonna say save image. So if I do that, a copy of image has been saved into the device photos. So that's how it goes. So now if I go to my photos, this is sorry. Yeah. So if I go to my photos, this is where it will save. The other thing what I want to show you next time is how to get this watermark. There are different ways to get this watermark. You may have your own logo, you may have your own text that you want to show. So now what happens is every time I save the picture, by default that watermark goes on to that. So I have done different settings etc to save that. So the next video is going to be only on the watermark, so stay tuned. And I'll definitely walk you through the watermarks. Let me save this. Yes. So today, just to summarize, today what we did was we learned a little bit on the color mask. It is a really important dimension of your images because there are so many colors in the picture and you want to highlight certain colors. So it's really important to kind of understand that and play around with it. So in the next video I'm gonna definitely show you on the watermarks. So stay tuned, subscribe, like. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.